All right, guys. I'm gonna get started a little early here. I'm just gonna wait a second though to give people an ability to get up to the feed. Today was super brutal. You gotta love it. I think I'm down like 10%. Hey, Angela, thank you for supporting the channel. That's very kind of you. I think I lost like I don't know, like it's getting a little better at the end here. I think we still got 3 minutes to close. Maybe it'll get better. I don't think. I think I'm still probably down like over 300K though. So roughly 10% of my portfolio. On a funny note, though, years ago that was probably the entire thing. So it's kind of strange to have that happen in a day and still be able to smile. I'm not gonna lie. Should have got myself coffee before I started this. That would have been smart. Get something to drink. But let me just glance through here. I'll go ahead and get started. We got 2 minutes, but people can start to come in and catch up. Excuse me. Maybe I will have to get coffee at some point. So today, I'm just going to start at the bottom. Tesla got pretty smoked. I'm buying into the calls. It looks like they recovered a little bit at the end of the day, or starting to, which is great. I'm loving that. I think Hood. I don't know. We'll go over price targets here in a little bit for Hood and all this other stuff, and I'll kind of start at the top and work my way down. But it looks like Tesla's recovering a little bit at the end of the day. It looks like a few parts of the market are. I actually saw that Nvidia is up like almost 1%, and SMCI is up almost 2 now. So it's very interesting to see the gyrations of the market. They've definitely been crazy today, and we'll see where we end. Maybe I'll even be under 300,000 in my losses today. Who knows? Thank you, Constantino. There we go. I think I got that right. For joining the channel, I really appreciate you. So Tesla looks to be recovering a little bit. I bought into that. Let's see here. We got SoFi. SoFi got destroyed down today. It says my calls are down 83,000. So you can see where a lot of my pain came from. And the SoFi trade, it's down 15.5% today. People didn't like the fact they're looking to acquire $700 million. And they have those dated out to where they don't really have to pay it out most likely until 2029, which is a long ways out. Somebody said that there's a likelihood that they're trying to shore up their balance sheet or they got a hole they're trying to fill. I kind of laughed at that. Person had a lot of followers because like they're a bank. Of course they have a hole in their balance sheet. I mean, they're fractional reserve, which means they have a fraction of your money in them. So yes, they probably do have a hole that they're trying to fill. But I think they're being proactive, and I like Anthony Noto. I think he's a smart guy. I think they're one of the better companies out there, and I like their last quarter's earnings. So I bought the dip today, probably put about 20K into that one. And if they bounce around, that'll turn out to be smart. If they go to zero, that's not going to be. But I have confidence they won't. We'll see if I'm right. PayPal got abused today. This was up green for a little bit. I did buy into this dip too. I bought a little bit for 2026 because obviously that's the play I'm looking at right now. Hopefully my 2025 calls still do all right. I got 4,300 of them, so I would like them to, but they're down 60% thus far. So I'm writing it off to zero. Zero isn't that far away right now. Actually, it's only got 133 in it. So mentally, I've kind of let that go. But I have faith. I shouldn't say I have hope, and that there's still a good chance that we could get a bounce within the next 4 months. And if we do that, I could still make $1 million plus. I'd like to make 2 million, but I'd take positive at this point. Honestly, MicroStrategy is down 21.3%. This is why you don't chase. We'll cover that in a second. The miners got smoked today. Bitcoin got smoked. We went to 69K and then we went straight down. So that was fun. Not totally unexpected though. Not too crazy. Let's hop over here. So I said I did a decent amount of selling early in the day. Just looking at the price action, it just looked like it was all going to shit. So I went ahead and sold out of like I think it was 40% of my hood calls, up over 250% on average. Locked in some gains. Didn't really want to, but it just seemed like everything was deteriorating and I wanted cash. So I did that, and then I sold out of most of my Square position, up about 150%, just because I think the likelihood of us filling the gap on that one, and I'll show charts in a little bit, was pretty high. So I basically acquired about $250,000 in cash that I added to my positioning. I still have about 200,000. Actually, maybe I got closer to 300,000 in cash. Still have a little over 200,000 left. But you can see I repositioned. I sold a little bit of Bitfarms, moved into Cypher when it was down, the mining company, when it was down or down to flat on the day, whereas it had been up over 10% in pre-market. So I kind of diversified there because I did like their quarterly earnings, and we'll probably go over that in a little bit here. And then I bought Mara, I bought CleanSpark. I didn't go crazy today on purchases for these, or did I buy CleanSpark? Maybe I didn't buy CleanSpark. Huh, well, we'll save that for another day. But I basically, diversified into Cypher, and then I bought some Mara today too, and then I bought Tesla calls. So that was the bulk of my moves today, thinking long term and trying to react what's happening in short term. Now you can see the bloodbath was pretty consistent, and a lot of big tech. The Nasdaq really took it on the chin today. A lot of big tech took a lot of this, and you'll see that over here. If I jump, you can see too how we had a pretty decent drop, like the biggest drop since probably like February, a little over a month ago, and really going back to last year, so like Q4, early Q4, Q3, like that kind of stuff. So this is a big drop in the Dow. S&P, you can see a little bit, not too much. Nasdaq 100, you can definitely see a decent tick down on that one. So we felt some pain today. Russell too. Russell not as much, which I think could be a positive sign. Now, somebody was asking me yesterday why I wasn't interested in buying MicroStrategy yesterday when I thought, hey, this is in a squeeze and it could go higher. I think today is a good example of why I don't chase. I buy things when they're bleeding, like I bought today, I bought yesterday, I bought the day before. I buy when things are going down and I believe they're going to have value in the future. If you were chasing shitcoins yesterday, you got wrecked today. Some of them, like my optimism's actually up. That's cool. Love that. That makes me happy. But for the most part, Bonk down 24%, Peep down 20, Doge down 20. Again, you got wrecked pretty good. And these things were down like 30, 40% at one point today from their recent high. So don't chase. Don't chase in crypto. Don't chase in the tech stocks. Don't chase in, well, chips lately you would have gotten away with it. But just don't chase. It's just not a good way to live your life. And again, MicroStrategy down 21%. So if you bought it at 1360, you're probably feeling like a fool today, down 22% from that level. It's way better. And again, I want to show some charts here in a little bit that show that this could even go back down to this fib line. So you can get down to 700. So this thing could have, if the market remains constrictive for like, I don't know, a couple days, remainder of the week. It's possible. It might bounce right back. Again, chips are bouncing, so that could be a good sign for the market, but it doesn't have to. So just think about these things in your investing career. And again, look at the Nasdaq here. Perfect, right? We talk about technicals and fib. Look at this. It like right where I talk about all the time, the golden retracement zone. Where did we just pull back from hard? Right at that level. That's just a key thing that you're going to notice. And then again, why do I think we could maybe go down? We don't have to. It depends on what inflows are like. Depends on what liquidity is like. It depends on what fear is like. But today was a pretty good hit on the chin. And it makes me think that there could still be a few more down days. We'll see if it happens. Again, I'm still buying. I've got about 200,000 in cash. I will buy the dip. I'll probably buy it slowly though. I'll probably only incorporate maybe like 30,000 in capital a day, unless I see something really favorable that makes me want to go the other way. Because again, we hit that new high. Great. Bitcoin hit a new high. Love it. But we got just pushed down hard underneath this fib and sold into the day. We got a little bit of a bounce because again, we went down real hard, real fast, as you can see here. But and we're bouncing a little bit, but we could chop into this range. We could even grind down to this fib. There's not a lot of support. Like we get support in a strong way around like 52,000. If we break under 57, then the next area is like around the 52, 53 range, and then it's down next to this fib. I don't think we're going that far unless the market becomes really foul for a week or two, which is possible. Again, you just have to realize We were in extreme greed for how long? Since December 14th? December 14th. That's a long time. So it would not be crazy. At least we're in greed now. We're not extremely greedy anymore. It wouldn't be crazy for us to take a breather and maybe have some trending down days. It might actually even be healthy. So just keep that in mind. All right, real quickly. So we'll try and run through this fast. Total vehicle sales were actually good. They trended up a little bit. The forecast looks like it's got them going back down, but they weren't bad. Again, these aren't bad. Like they're doing okay. Nothing major showing that we're rolling over right now. Logistics Managers Index. This is a little more confusing of a chart. So this actually shows that we're going up, and it's higher than last read, which is good. But the question is, what all does this mean? It says, let me just read it real quick. The highest reading in 4 months, from 55.6 in January, amid a broad-based expansion in all metrics, continued progress in transportation, and the buildup of inventories upstream at the manufacturing and wholesale levels. So this has to deal with shipping, warehousing, transportation, and what it's saying in here. It says there was a continued rise in inventory levels, which has led to a tightening in warehouse capacity. So warehouses are full. And growth across all three transportation metrics. So people are trying to ship things out, but their warehouses are full. I don't know if that's a great sign though, because again, full inventory means are people not buying it? Particularly, transportation prices have reached their fastest rate of growth. So shipping and transportation prices are going up. That's good since the freight recession in June of 2022. So that's good. Again, that's like best in like over a year. That's or a year and a half. Transportation capacity was also up, bumping it higher than transportation prices, suggesting that we have not yet entered a true growth period in the freight market. So again, this might not be a signal that things are great yet. And with warehouses filling up, I don't know. I don't know how to look at that. Now, let's go to the S&P Global Composite PMI, and then we'll go to services. Now, this is ticking higher. I like to see this. Just this shows that we're in expansion territory and we're continuing to. This is good. Let's just read this here. Highest reading since June of 2023 as manufacturing production saw a boost while service sector activity also rose. New order growth slightly slowed, though overall expansion rate was the second highest since mid-2023. That's good. A little over a year. Great. The upturn, or almost a year, the upturn was supported by a rise in new export orders for goods. So we've got an increase in export orders for goods. That's cool. That's actually kind of surprising. February showed a general decrease in cost pressures. So prices are going down, but we're getting an increase in orders. That's good. Increasing the slowest rate since October of 2020. Despite this, firms aim to pass on higher costs to customers, resulting in an uptick in selling price. So this could mean, didn't mean to click that. This could mean that margins are still going to be good. Orders are ticking up, but pricing pressures for these companies aren't as great. So maybe we still see another quarter where things are looking good. And again, we're in expansion territory, which is what I like. Services. We beat this one too. It looks like it's ticking down a little bit, but it's still an expansion, and that's good to see. All right. ISM Services PMI. It looks like this came in slightly lower than expected. I mean, not a great general trend here. We'd like to see that tick up. Factory orders month over month, lower than expected, and negative read. Well, no, I should say that better than expected. We expected negative 4.9. We got negative 3.6, so that's a little bit better. Minus transportation, like auto vehicles, stuff like that, negative 0.8%. That was worse than expected. So auto actually held this up, it looks like. And these are month over month. Let me see. Is this? Yeah, I hate month over month charts because you can't see a trend. I just think it's garbage data. I don't like visually even looking at it. ISM Services business activity. So this actually did really well. We expected 54.9. We got 57.2. And if we go back here a little bit, again, it looks like we might actually be getting an uptick. We never dropped into contraction. We're still in expansion. I like that. So U.S. market is still looking way healthier than a place like China. Employment was actually a tick lower. So employment looks like it's going down a little bit. It's in contraction territory still. That's interesting. Let's see what they have to say in here. Sub-index of the United States, 48 points in February, 50 points in January 2024. ISM non-manufacturing employment in the United States averaged 51.73 from 1997 to 20. So we're like near the average. It doesn't really give us much. But what I do like to see again is that new orders. The new orders ticking up is cool. So we can see this increase here, and it looks like, I mean, it looks like a bottoming since 2020. If anything, it looks like we want to break out higher. Let's see if that happens. I also like the fact that prices actually came in lower than forecast. We had a really big read in January. I like the fact that prices are going down. We don't want to see pricing pressure because it alludes to the fact that we might have more inflation. I do not think that is remotely true. But it gives people the thesis for it, and we don't want that. Now, tomorrow we'll get some mortgage data. It's probably going to suck, right? Interest rates are high. We get ADP employment, and we get jobs data. And most importantly, Jerome Powell is talking to Congress at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So I will probably be tuning into that. I might even stream it just to kind of get a beat of what he's saying to all of these people. Other than that, though, nothing crazy on the economic front right there as far as data. I think it all looked good. I think today was a combination of pressures, right? I think today was technical pressure from just doing really well. I think banking-related pressure, not everybody's talking about it, but like New York Community Bank Corp is still a $2.33 billion bank, and they've been decimated over the last, what is this, couple of months, especially here recently. You can just see, like, since January, the beginning of the year, look at this. Like, if I go to January, right here, we're down 70% on this bank. And then we have the BTFP expiring. And so you have like banking related concerns. I think that's a narrative that's starting to build up a little bit on the risk front. And then it's also China. But again, so you have this going on with New York Community Bank Corp. Then at the same time, you have SoFi doing this offering. And the offering it gave the bears just room to run with these banking related concerns from the BTFP, the Bank Term Funding Program, expiring, and then this other regional bank having issues, and then SoFi doing this offering. I actually think it was proactive and probably the right move for them to do because, again, they're a bank, they're fractional reserve. Every bank has holes, right? So they're just making sure that they're good and they don't have to worry about bank runs in the future, and that they're able to fill those holes or not have any. I think that's probably the right move, but they got butchered today, down 15.27% in regular market hours and down almost 2% more in after hours. So again, we're just seeing these stresses here. I do think, though, we're nearing a support zone. It's either going to happen right here around the $7 range, or worst case, we're going to see something closer to like maybe 6.23 or 6. Worst case scenario. And I'm probably going to buy this dip. I'm not going to focus on this as much as I do other things. Yeah, I'll stream it. No problem, Chris. I'll do that tomorrow. And so I'm not going to do this as much as other things, but I will still allocate to this, to dollar cost average, because I don't think the world's coming to an end unless somebody can tell me why. Now, again, I talked about China. Lots of stuff going on in China. I need to do another video about China, but Goldman Sachs. So you got Goldman Sachs, the wealth management CIO, warning you, don't invest in China, saying it's uninvestable. So I'm just some random guy on YouTube. You don't have to listen to me, right? But maybe listen to major investment firms in this country when they tell you that it's uninvestable. Even today, the Premier, they released their report on like what they're going to do. Oh, hey, it's 5% GDP again. That's their goal they set, right? They can just set goals, and then people have to make them happen, even if they don't have money to do it, whatever. It's a communist party, right? So you can just make things happen, even if they don't really happen. The Premier had to announce these goals and go through all this other stuff. The Premier is like right underneath President Xi, right? But he didn't even do his Q&A at the end of all of this time. Why is that interesting? Because it hasn't been that way for 30 years. For the first time in 30 years, the Premier did not speak after doing this. That should tell you something about what's going on in China when the Premier is afraid to even speak about what's going on in the finances. For the first time in 30 years, we have them not doing this. So invest in China if you want to, but there's a reason BABA fell again last night and why the Hang Seng Index still looks like shit and why it's going to keep looking like trash. So if you want to throw your money there, do it. More power to you. All right. There's my rant. I'm done with one rant. Let's move on. Square. Again, I'm just trying to be realistic. I got these all over my site today. Take a look. I'm trying to give you what I believe Max Payne looks like, right? Because I do believe that there could be a chance that we're going to feel a little bit. So I'm trying to show you where we start to see support. For Square, it's going to be around this 68, 69 zone, right? Like that's where we'll start to feel it. And again, this is on the daily time frame. We've got moving averages that are pushing hard up, and so they're going to try and provide support too. Tesla, I threw this out here because I thought it was funny, and I just think it's weird. So, let me just go up. I think I got a better one up here. So I said, hey, I actually think with this China-related news, and this does not have to happen. This is just a crazy theory, right? That we could have another one of these power wicks down to the trend line support that we have that goes all the way back, 3.5 years or 3 years, right? And you can see how the patterns look similar. Like over here, we had three attempts of getting higher. Third one, couldn't do it. Plummeted down, right? Dropped under the 200 moving average. This time, 3 attempts, couldn't do it. Dropped under the moving average. Currently just trading underneath of it like we did before. So I'm just saying, hey, if the China narrative doesn't get better, and right now, there's just a lot of stuff going on with Tesla. You had in Germany somebody sabotage, like sophisticated sabotage, to destroy power to the German factory, and they were out of commission. I don't know if they're back up and running yet. You had the Lunar New Year lining up weirdly for February, and it looks like it's hurting a bunch of shipping numbers with Tesla. I do think that will get better, but again, I think that there's major issues in the Chinese economy, and maybe we could start seeing some of that. Then you have Q1, where it is the least favorable year or quarter to purchase vehicles. So you have downward pressure from Q1 always sucking for every auto manufacturer, on top of China issues, on top of German factory getting closed down, on top of Cybertruck ramping, on top of Highland maybe not being able to ramp that quickly. There's a lot of stuff going on at Tesla right now. Greatest company on earth, hands down, maybe outside of SpaceX. Like, it's close. But again, I love this company. I love Elon. I'm super passionate about what they're doing. But it just seems like there are things lining up that could cause some pain. So I'm mentally prepared to buy into that with my June 2026 calls, because I think that getting back to $330 in 2.5 years is very possible, if not highly probable, because we've still got the robot going. We've got this company just doing things to reduce COGS and make themselves greater by the minute. Oh, sorry, Slim Shady. Yeah, no need to apologize, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry any of it's happening. It's crazy that people are sabotaging the company. If it's some eco warriors, it's even more insane, because like sabotaging an electric vehicle company that's trying to make the world better and more sustainable is just insanity. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what it is. But anyway, here's my joke on this one. Here's what I think is funny. We topped around $420. Real close, right? Wouldn't it be ironic if we dropped down here kind of near $69, where we have volume peaks starting to kick in again? I don't think it'll happen, but man, if it did happen, because if we drop underneath this golden retracement zone in green here and go down to here, then we've got something that looks more like either a double bottom, where it's like a weird W, but like a double bottom, or we could just drop down further and test the trend line of support. And wouldn't it be hilarious if Elon's company made it to $420 and then dropped down towards 69? Probably wouldn't make it to 69 because that would be too great. And there would probably be way too many people that are like, I'm loading the boat just because it's near 69. So it probably wouldn't make it there, but wouldn't it be weird if 420 was close to the high and 69 was close to the low? I just think that would be super odd and further signs that we're living in Elon's video game. All right, let me hop up here again real quick. I made a joke about bonk. I'm not going to subject you to my dad jokes. All right. So here, what do we got here? This is SoFi. Oh, the brutality of SoFi. So again, what I wanted to show you here is we should have a green box of support underneath this 100 moving average and this downward resistance line, right? Like we tested it as support before. It's done a decent job of support. It was definitely a strong line of resistance. So hopefully we can stay above that or at least bounce it back above it. If we don't, then $6 could happen. Be mentally prepared for it. And I wanted to show this too. So I said, hey, I still think we're curving up. Now, this thesis could be blown out of the water soon, right? But you see here, we got a steep decline, then slightly less, then slightly less, then slightly less. If this stops here and finds support, this would be even slightly less, which means that, again, the price action looks like it's trying to curve higher. Now, macro and banking related concerns, they could wipe that out in a heartbeat. So don't take it as the word of God. It's not. And here's the Bitcoin chart that I was showing you. Again, rejected at the fib, made a new all-time high. A lot of the times the market likes to give you max pain. I don't have Rivian Leaps, and I wouldn't touch Rivian. It's a shit company. I'm sorry I lost 30 grand in it. I wouldn't touch Rivian at all. I can watch my Rivian video and then just look at what they did with earnings. I can make a follow-up too, but they're just a horrible company. But what I wanted to say here on Bitcoin is that there's this max pain philosophy where the market wants to kind of do whatever is going to be the most painful to the market, the majority of market participants. And I agree with that. Going to 69,000, everybody getting excited, and then just slamming that thing down seems pretty appropriate. Now, maybe we go down to these different levels I talked about a second ago. I'm not sure. Look at the chart if you're curious about it. I do think I'm buying at each level. The only reason I'm showing you this stuff is I'm showing you where we should have support and where I'm interested in buying more. MicroStrategy is another example of this. Here, my screen auto adjusts. I gotta fix this. So MicroStrategy, you can see that 25-year breakout zone, right? Where we had these two lines and we broke above it, and what serendipity that we then crash underneath of it and start to go lower. All I'm saying here is that there's a chance we could go back to the .618 fib, which would put us near 700. Now, we might be able to find support on this first level, around 1,000 maybe, but I don't know. Again, I think we could go lower. Just think about these numbers and areas of support. Mara. So we have dropped underneath. I think there's a decent chance that we're going to test this gap at least down here. And again, like 20 to 17 could be support where the 200 moving average is. Or if it gets real crazy, maybe it's down near 13, 12, even 10. Just be mentally prepared for whatever could happen. Because again, now we have basically a double top up here. And that sucks. So that could cause some downward price pressure, especially if the underlying asset Bitcoin has weakness. So just be mentally prepared to buy the dip. It will go up again. You'll make tons of money, most likely. Can't guarantee it. But like I'm saying, this is like a 99% probability, in my opinion, that you can make tons of money off of this. Because the money printer hasn't stopped. The government hasn't stopped printing money. The Chinese sure as hell aren't going to stop printing money. Whether it's for war or whatever it is, they're going to print. So as long as the money printers are going burr, Bitcoin is needed. It is the ultimate store of value. Watch my videos and learn why. Watch why. Bitcoin Day, right? It's always Bitcoin Day. All right, CleanSpark. Again, CleanSpark could drop from here. We're underneath peak volumes. We could go down. We could go down to 12. We could go down even further towards 10. Shit can happen. Pay attention to the levels. Cypher, this is I feel like it's at a bottom, but it could still swing. It's down or it's up 1.75% in after hours. It looks like a number of the miners are coming up after hours. Love to see that. But again, this should theoretically act as a strong layer of support. You can see we've been down here a lot and we aren't going much lower. And Cypher is a stock that just really hasn't run as much as the others. I was going to say, I might show you this one because they just had their earnings. I got interested and I bought, again, like 100,000 plus maybe of this one today. I did that because I like the fact that they have a growing Bitcoin balance. They're actually above Bitfarms now. I love that. And their financials look pretty good, and they have strong expansion plans. The things I do not like about this, and I'll show you that a little bit later, the sheer number of insiders holding the stock that could dump on it, and the fact that Bitfury dumped the majority, like 70% of their holdings, a couple of months ago. I don't like these things. So there is some risk there, but I'm just diversifying between two small caps, Bitfarms and Cipher, and then I've got my mid cap, which is CleanSpark, mid to large, and then I have my large cap, which is Mara. And I like that positioning. I like these miners. I sold a little bit of WGMI, that diversified portfolio, because I think that this is kind of turning into my final play. And maybe Cipher doesn't work out or Bitfarms doesn't work out. One of them gets whacked off. I don't know. It's probably not a good term. Anyway, maybe one of them goes away. I don't know. But I think I want to be in the winners, and I think I have a good list. I could be wrong. I think so. All right, Hood. I just wanted to point out here, too, that with Hood, so I sold a large chunk today, like 40% of my portfolio. I did that because I was still up 250%. My average sell price for my Hood calls is 300%. I am not greedy, and here's the thing. I wanted cash, so I get my cash. When you have a really great run and the market looks like it's going to turn on you and you're holding leaps and calls, if you've done really well on something, that's the thing that's probably going to get punished the most. So I just exited a decent chunk to limit my downside. And again, if we go down to this other fib and test it, that gets it down to 14. I'd probably buy more at that level. All right, let me see here. Let me go back one. All right, I think that's it for a lot of the charts. Let me just double check and make sure I didn't miss anything here. And then I'll go into, yeah, that's it. Nope. Okay, I got a few more. Let me see here. Bitfarms. Yeah, let's do a couple more here. Yeah, Bitfarms. Okay, so Bitfarms. Again, I think we have key support right here on this previous resistance line that we already tested as support once previously. Resistance, support. I'm hoping we find support again. Might not. If we don't, then I would expect this .382 fib at the $1.70 range, right around there. But this, again, this is worst case. PayPal, fun. PayPal. So really for where we're at, if we drop underneath of this, it's down to like the 54 range. You just have to be mentally prepared for that. We do have a bunch of divergences trying to push it higher. This thing's been used and abused. I don't think it goes much lower than that. I will buy 2026 calls if it does. All right. I think that's it for that. Let's let me look back up through chat here, and maybe we'll start pulling up some stuff. Oh, I did want to say, I'm going to pull up Cipher real quick. Yeah, I got it up. Cool. So I got Q4. So as you can see here, I'm just going to refresh one more time. Revenue growth year over year is substantially higher. So I like their growth plans, right? I do like that. I like the fact that they're expanding out. I like the fact that we had a good jump here. I like the fact that net income is starting to turn positive. Share dilution is not crazy. Cash just increased a decent amount, but debt did not. Operating expenses don't look crazy. Cash flow is getting more positive. I like all these things that we're seeing. Let's see what estimates look like. Estimates are a little bit higher in Q1, but not a lot. And these guys are looking to expand at a higher hash rate. Let me see. I do have... I'm borrowing this from my boy, Sebastian Ski. I pay for his Patreon service. If you guys don't use it, you should. If you own miners, he's got a wealth of data on this thing that I absolutely love. One of the things I wanted to point out is the growth in their Bitcoin holdings month over month. I am very impressed that they're doing this. This is the way to do it. They should have done more of this over the bear. They should have been accumulating more throughout here too and diluting shares more. That's what I would have done if I was running this company. If I ever start running a mining company again, this is how I'm going to handle it. I don't think I will. But again, I like this. I like the fact that we're going up. Their current hash rate is 6 exahashes. Is that what it is? But they're expanding to 17. So we could see, and I know they already did some of that dilution, which is good, right? That nailed down their price a while ago. We could see more in the future, but I do like the fact that these guys have strong expansion plans because they do have some older miners that need to go away, and they have. Hopefully, Sebastian's cool with me showing this, and they have because he does show this stuff on his channel too. But they do have newer miners that they've started to acquire, like really good hash rates. Miner speed is the section I'm looking at. This is good. You don't want this 88,000, 100,000 stuff. That's trash. So you don't want old crap. But these guys have strong expansion plans, and I like that. I like the fact that they're looking to expand a lot. I like the fact that a decent amount of that dilution has already happened. So I'm overlooking a couple of my concerns about it. All right, done with the rant. Let's move over here. Let's look at stuff. I'm going to start at the top here. I already did Tesla, CLSK, BITF. Again, Ishmael, check out my site here on X, and you'll be able to find all that stuff. Doge. Yeah, I can do Doge. I can do Doge. Got kicked in the teeth today, but let's do some Doge. And thank you for everybody that supports the channel. I have gotten rid of my tipping options on X, and I have gotten rid of ads so that I can treat you all a little bit better. And so everybody that helps support me, it's greatly appreciated. So this is interesting. So we appear to have found support on Doge, and I should actually draw. I need to get a better chart for Doge. I'll do that next time, because I need one that shows me Doge before 2021 so that I can do a fib trend-based extension. So I'll get that fixed. But you can see where we found this volume shelf over here. Visually, we found support. And you can see where here we wicked underneath, came back up, turned it right into support. I like that. That's a good sign. It shows that we want to bounce and go higher. This thing is a good looking chart. I don't know. If we drop much further, I'm probably buying myself some more shitcoins. I think that's probably a decent idea. All right, WGMI. So I did just sell WGMI. This is the Valkyrie fund for the Bitcoin miners. I do have some still, though. But he was asking, hey, do you think this has support here? And let me just check. Oh, and I missed one. I'll go back to that in a second, an AI play. Could it have support? I don't know. Maybe. Let me just do this real quick. I do here. All I can do is fib retracement because I don't have a lot more to work off of. Hey, wow, how funny is that? It totally retraced at the .618 retracement level, the golden Fibonacci. I guess this is just astrology for men. Now, what we need to do is see, do we go up here and find support at the 1728 level, or do we continue to test down to 1416? I'm leaning on the fact that we could go lower, but hey, man, let's see. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Where are you, Bitcoin? Bitcoin. Maybe. It's fighting, man. It's fighting. It's definitely, let me look at the daily here real quick. So we had this tweezer top, they call this. It looks like a little pair of tweezers. But we're wicking up above shorter term volume. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong on that. Maybe we end up coming back around. So maybe we get back up to 1728 again. And you're right. Maybe this is a good buy zone. It's possible, man. I did more buying today. I didn't get crazy with it, but who knows? Again, chips did all right now, and at the end of the day, Nvidia positive, SMCI positive, SMCI positive in after hours, AMD positive in after hours, which means it would have been up for the day. So, and these are the leaders, market leaders right now. So maybe things keep going up. Let me get this other one here. If you guys have any news events too, or other things that I'm missing that are like really important, throw them in chat. I'm going to try and, as I go down through this, I'm going to try and quickly read chat and get a little bit better at that. Eventually, I'll probably be a lot better. BigBear.ai. I don't know what that means. Is this a teddy bear that does AI? Before I look at this chart, I got to see what we got for finances here before I start making fun of your thing. Let me see here. All right, so really flat revenue. Don't love that. Do love the net income getting better. Do not like large debt versus cash. Don't like share dilution. It almost feels like we're making the net income better by diluting shares. Negative 16% year over year. Estimates, we get a little bit of a bump, but then we're going negative again. I just don't like companies that, if you know something about this company that lets you think that they're going a lot higher, cool. If you're thinking about this because it's got the word AI in it, and that AI, I don't even know, does that look like a bear? I don't even feel like that is a bear. I feel like that's like a orangutan or something. Nope, it's a bear. All right, I'll give it a bear. So yeah, they got the bear part, but I don't know what any of that means. And I don't love the way these finances look. I will, let me just go over here and put this back over here. I will do this. I will draw a fib retracement on it, just to have the chart. And so you could see it getting rejected at the first fib. So could it go up higher? It could, maybe 652. Fundamentally, I don't know why it would. I mean, I guess it's got a $590 million cap. So if they do have some reasons, if they do have that increased revenue that they're talking about, and if these turn out to be positive, you could see a little bit of a bump, right? Maybe you get up to 654, but I don't know. This just doesn't seem super interesting to me. All right, what else we got? I'll save that one. BBI, got that. Doge, got that. All right, some of the SoFi therapy, yeah, SoFi therapy for sure. All right, scrolling down. Jesse, do you think Hood won't reach 20 after today? No, I think it'll reach 30. I still think it'll reach 30. I just wanted more cash for other opportunities, and I had spent it all like an idiot. So even somebody like myself who's done, I made 700% last year, and if you look at my balances, I don't know how many of you have seen this. I'm going to show this real quick, just real fast. So, what was it? So I don't know if everybody knows my story, but I have had ups and downs in the markets, a lot more downs than ups previously, right? Let me see portfolio. There we go. So, but I got really good at this years ago. So starting at I got really interested again in 2017 with that market. I bought miners, Bitcoin miners. It sucked. Lost a bunch of money. I made a bunch of money, but I didn't make as much money if I would have just bought Bitcoin. I would have done really well if I did that. And I didn't know at the end of the cycle what the halving was. Please take time and do your due diligence and understand what things are. Because when you don't understand what you're doing and you just follow people, you end up losing a lot of money. So anyway, so I went, that was this, right? This is what, so I went from making a bunch of money. I think I made like $250,000. I was so stoked. I was like, I am awesome at this. And then the bear market came, and then I was down $46,000. I did some crazy stuff back then. I even took out credit card debt. I took out 18-month 0% offers with like a 2% balance transfer fee because I knew things were going to come back. I was at least smart enough to know that it was going to come back. I don't recommend anybody do this, but I knew that I would have another opportunity, and so I leveraged myself really heavy with credit cards. Turned out to be okay. As the 18 months rolled around, it was 2020 to 2021, and you can see these are my low balances, right? These are my lows. I think it's more telling to show what your lows look like each year, personally, versus your highs. Highs can be really cool and exciting, and maybe I'll make a separate one about that. But I do think lows are very important. But you could see I came back, right? And then I came back even more. And then 2022 sucked for me, but I still did better. And then 2023 was very good. This is my low balance 2023. That was a very good year. And then 2024, so far, 1.92. Want to keep it there too. And I'm up over 3 million right now. So that's still sitting good. But anyway, I don't know what got me on this diatribe. Let me go back over here. But I do think that it's important to make sure that you manage and mitigate risk. And so I wanted cash today, which is why I sold Hood. Was that what we were talking about? I don't know. Let's move on. Oh, yeah, that was. Hey, I got back there. Good for me. Got some Square today. Looking at ARM, wondering your thoughts. I don't love ARM, dude. I don't love ARM. I think I've pulled this one up before. I'm not going to pull up the stock right now. But let's look here. 30% growth. So it's got revenue growth. That's good. It's got positive net income, 110. Cash is good. Why didn't I like ARM? Let me see what the estimates are. Oh, lowering revenue. But EPS is going up. I don't know what any of this means. If you know what this means, I have not researched ARM a lot, but I don't love it when guidance is lower than expected. And again, I don't want to just hop on a train because it's going for every other chip manufacturer. That doesn't necessarily mean that these guys are going along for the ride. Lots of insiders in this one. So I don't know. I don't know if I like that one. And I will pull it up just real quick to remind myself of what the chart looks like. I don't know if this is an oversold one. I think it's going up, which is why I don't like it. Because again, yeah, so we had this huge gap up. So this just worries me. You got all this volume in between. Don't love it. To me, I would rather own Nvidia. If you're going that route, I would rather own Nvidia. It feels like that's going to be a much safer play for you. DDOG. I don't know what that is. I'm going to look it up. All right, and thank you for everybody that's came. Wow, almost 400. What? That'd be cool. Tell your friends and family to come on too. I would love to get to 400. I don't know if I think I did that one time, but that was like an earnings call. It doesn't really count. It was, all right, let me see here. Datadog. Ah, okay. The dog dropped today. Like everything dropped today. They got a $41 billion market cap. That's interesting. Let me see what the weekly looks like. They look like they've recovered a lot already. So, I don't know. I don't love these kind of plays where the market is kind of sketchy. You're dealing with a software company. You're up. Well, I guess it's only 100%. That's not a huge number. What does this guy look like? Oh, and for people that are new here, this is kind of what I do. I go through the chart, but I also like to look at financials, and if I can, I like to learn something about the stock too. All right, so this is actually getting more interesting. Now you got me interested, bro. So Datadog, revenue growth, 26% year over year. Look at these quarters. This is just a thing of beauty. Don't love the recent share dilution. Don't know why. Net income is going positive though. 53 million in a quarter is nice. Cash is going up. Debt is going down. Operating expenses are growing, but not at a crazy rate. And I love the fact that the majority of that is this green, which is research and development, instead of this blue, which is just like SG&A. It's like all your operating expenses and crap like that. 414. What? Okay, this is my best market recap. Thank you guys. Even if you opened up like 2 streams, thank you. But this looks good. And look at the estimates. Oh, okay. You actually got me a little more excited about this company. I've heard about them, but I've never really paid attention. They're lowering their stock-based compensation as a percentage of revenue. Well, that's probably just because revenues are growing. It probably isn't changing at all. But I do like this setup. 5,200 employees, not crazy. Low short interest. Who would short this? You'd have to be an idiot. Institutional ownership. This probably isn't like a good leverage play, but it's very interesting to me as just a company to own. So this is cool. Thank you for bringing it up. I've never really paid attention to them. So I take back. And you'll find too, for people that are new here, sometimes I start down one path and then I look and I find I actually should be in another path. And I think that that's called just being smart. You can have biases in life. You can have preconceived notions going into things, but you shouldn't keep them if you're proven wrong, right? You should let the data decide your viewpoint, and you should be able to adjust. Some people are like, oh, that person's waffling. They changed their mind. It's like, dude, I hope I change my mind all the time based on new data. The day I stop doing that, you can go ahead and just dig me a grave, because you become as valuable as Peter Schiff telling people to buy gold. All right, so this one, Ionic, who is that? ABC. All right, so we're under peak volume. Don't love that. Decent gap here where we could fill down to like 680, so that could suck, right? Fib retracement, we'll just draw that real quick. All right, so yeah, again, I don't love it. It's like this major first fib. It's like we have it's called a descending triangle. This is the triangle, right? Let me draw it for you. I'll teach you guys a little bit of TA too here. This is called a descending triangle, right? And we just started breaking through it. That is the top part. That's the part we wanted to break out of and didn't. And then I'll just do this real quick here and try and get this lined up as pretty as I can. I mean, close, whatever. That was the support, right? And what did we just do? We broke underneath of it on the daily candle. Have we done that before? Oh, I need to adjust my line. I like to draw this on the daily too. It gives you more of the truth. So we have not broken underneath of it. We're right at it. We want to break underneath of it, but we haven't done it. So this is interesting, but I think it's going lower, especially if there's market weakness. Again, you have this huge gap down to the 7 range. I would expect that to fill, so I wouldn't be super excited about holding this. Let me just see what these guys do too while I'm here, just because this is new to me. What was that called? Is it Ionic? IONQ. Okay, this one. Okay. All right, and revenue's going up, but it tabled off last quarter. Losing money, hate that. Losing 41 million a quarter. That gives them some runway though. Operating expenses, gosh, they're just not great. A lot of this is R&D, but their cash flow is going negative. Revenue growth year over year of 60% is a nice number, but we're diluting shares. We just saw a flat quarter of revenues. We're losing money for our net income. Our cash flows are going negative. Our operating expenses aren't getting a lot better. Our cash is going down. Don't have a lot of debt, but this chart sucks. Operating expenses versus revenue, that's like the opposite of what you want. And then, so they do have a couple of quarters where they're looking to go up, but their net income isn't going up and their EBIT isn't. So it's like, I don't know, that sucks to me, right? Like you want to see that these guys can control their book and that they're making good decisions. My ass is 30 shades of blue. Glad the market closed. Congratulations on your day. Biddy. Let's look up Biddy. Is that the short one? I think that's the short one. I'm starting to get used to these names. I really like this exercise, guys. It's helping me a lot with just getting a much better understanding of the markets. So this one was up. So this is a short play against Bitcoin. I would not touch this at all right now. Albert, thank you for joining. I wouldn't touch this at all right now. This is a stupid play right now. Even just to swing, this is so scary to me. But here's the great thing. It's down 82% since November of 2022. This thing will probably be down like 98% in the end when Bitcoin tops for the cycle. That is a time where you leverage into this. You start selling Bitcoin. You keep some in a hardware wallet, or at least this is my plan. And then you add to your hardware wallet holdings, and then you sell the shit coins, sell the miners, get rid of all that crap, and then start selling your other stuff and start putting some of it, if you think we've topped, into this. Then if you do get it right, you get a confirmation top. So once you've topped, it drops hard, but then it swings back up because there's all people that are programmed to buy the dip at each cycle top. So you'll get real close to that high again. Or like last cycle, we actually got higher, right? So last cycle, if I go back here and I look at the weekly, we actually got a little bit higher, but then we dropped back down. But then when we got back up to here and I saw a sign of weakness, I was out. So I did lose some up here because again, like the Fed just neutered this run and I think they screwed it up, and every run's different, but I was out. I was out, man. I was out of everything. I got out of miners and stuff over here. I was out of shit coins like right over here. And then my other plays like GBTC and like my core Bitcoin stuff, outside of the stuff in my hardware wallet, I was out over here. And so you can get confirmations when it's time to get out, right? There's all kinds of tools to do that. I should have used more of them. I just got greedy. And yes, that happens, even to pros. We all get greedy. That's what we're going to do this next cycle. We're going to keep each other in check so that doesn't happen. But I will say, this didn't exist. I would love this now. It even pays dividends. Look at that cute little dividend. So this will be great. When this thing goes down to like almost zero, this will be a great way to hedge your bets. And then while Bitcoin's price drops, you just peel a little bit off of this and just buy a little bit of Bitcoin, buy a little bit of the miners, whatever. Or when you think it's bottomed. And this is a great way to still kind of be ready for the game, right? Or you could even keep some Bitcoin, put this in as a hedge. So there's ways to play this. We'll go over those more later. But yeah, I do like Biddy. I think that's a smart way to do it. I wouldn't touch it now. I wouldn't touch it now just because, again, you can get your face ripped off with Bitcoin, especially in a bull market. All right, so let me just scroll down here. I don't want to make sure I don't skip any. I think it went too far. Okay, there we go. Clean Spark, please. Went over it. Powell, yes. Okay. As a German, I want to apologize for these idiots. Thanks, love. Crowd, okay. CRWD. I think I have that one. CRWD. All right, there we go. All right. And again, if you guys don't already, like, subscribe, ring the bell so that you know when stuff is happening. Will request. I'll get to you, Neil. All right, CrowdStrike. 21.53 in after hours. I take it we got earnings. Oh, this is good for the market. This is good for the market. This kind of stuff is healthy. This is healthy. It's going to make people happy that these guys are popping. Look at that. We're going right up to the .618. Again, if you don't believe in technicals, you're an ill-informed person or an idiot. Because look at this. We're perfectly sitting at the .618. You can't tell me these algos don't know exactly where they need to be. So this is interesting. Let's see. I don't know if this one's going to be updated yet. I don't know when this came out. It might not be fully up on here, but we'll check it just to see if I get them. Yeah, Q4. Okay. So members, again, if you're a member of my friend Alejandro's site, visualstocks.com with a Z instead of an S, visualstocks.com, you can see what things look like. Again, this is just another great company. This is like Datadog. You're just seeing all the right stuff. Light share dilution, continuous revenue growth, just shows economies of scale in software. They're so great. Look at this. Net income's positive. Cash and bonds going up. Debt maintaining. Operating expenses not really going anywhere outside of R&D. Cash flow is strong. It's just a thing of beauty. Look at that. Look at that guidance for Q1. What the fuck? That's beautiful. This is good for tech, guys. This is good for all of us. This kind of stuff, seeing this kind of stuff in the markets will help all of our investments. So be happy. You don't need to chase shit like this, but be happy this is happening, because this 22% jump in after hours is going to help boost everything. We want to see companies succeed. This is good. Rivian, again, I will go into that. I will go into that in another video. I'll probably make just a follow-up for why I think they suck and why they're just a shitty company. But the gist is, they're just burning through money too much. They're going to need tons of dilution to survive. Okay? Just to survive. That's best case. Did I pass somebody again? Where were you on here? Dang it all to heck. I don't want to miss somebody. I know I had a whale in here. I had a whale. I saw a whale. All right, maybe I'll just go back if I'll find you eventually here. I know it was Neil. I'll find you, man. Promise. I'm not going to pass you. Or maybe you were down lower. I don't know. All right, Celsius. Celsius, the drink that everybody loves. It's got light carbonation, so I can't stand it. I haven't tried one yet. Up 570% since May 2022. Again, this is just a slow roller. It's just going to keep rolling, I imagine. It is overbought, and we are seeing bearish divergence. You can see this down here, right? On the weekly. Let me just draw a line real quick. I'll show you guys how this works. So, here, I'll actually do this. If you I'll show you something real quick. If you double click down here, it'll just give you this, right? A lot easier to draw a line. So here's what I don't like. And this could change. This doesn't have to play out, right? But here's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that on the weekly time frame we have a bearish divergence where this has been going down, but the price has went up like a rocket ship in the exact opposite direction. Like, right? Price went this way, but we saw that. We see this trending down. It's just not doing as well. So you get this divergence that's created. So I don't know, man. If I did this well on Celsius, what do the financials look like? Are they still just crushing it? I know they're like everywhere. But is this like peak? Ugh, I don't like the fact that revenues dropped a little bit, but net income looks great, but we got more share dilution that quarter. Is that how we got net income better? We have tons of cash. Operating expenses aren't bad, but we got good forecasting though. But again, look at net income or EPS estimates per share. It looks like it's starting to peak. So we could be at like peak sell and Celsius, and I don't know. Again, 95% year over year. Are you doing that again? Is this going to do another 95%? Do you guys think that? Is this popular enough? Are they not? I see this shit everywhere. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory. I'm just saying I see this stuff everywhere. Do you know? I don't know. Are they entering a bunch more markets where they can grow 100% again next year? Tell me. I don't know. So if you don't think that's going to happen, then I would start applying this money somewhere else. Just me. I might not have all the facts. Redfin, interesting. Mortgage play. I like the way you're thinking. I don't know if I have them though. Here, let me go back. I should do copy. Red, is it red? How do you spell it again? Damn it, chat's moving on me. Where'd you go? RD FN. And I will make sure I go back up through here and I don't miss anybody. Especially, and I don't know if I've told everybody this. If you're an alpha or a whale, you can do more than one stock request at a time. I'm going to try and get better at making sure that that happens. And just put that you are that so that I make sure that I don't miss you, okay? And even if it takes me a while, I'll go back through chat and make sure that I pick you guys up. Redfin. Ooh, Redfin's been brutalized. We like that though, right? But I don't know what their financials look like, so we're going to go there first. So Redfin is like a online mortgage, software company. They're really dependent upon, real estate services, right? Like software-based services. They're really dependent upon sales, which have sucked because our government has rates really, really high and raised them at the most aggressive rate in history. So you can see where these guys were doing all right, and then they just got devastated. You can see where in Q3 2020 they had some like they've never been profitable. Let's just be real. They've never been profitable, but maybe they were headed on the right trajectory in 2022. I don't know. They were still burning money. Let's not include 2022. Let's go to normalization, 2020. You can argue that they were starting to make the right moves. I don't know if they still will. And they're more indebted now, and their cash is going away, and they have 20% short interest. Expenses have been coming down. You can see that they're trying to manage it. Revenue growth negative 55% year over year. Looking at a little bit of a pickup in revenues, but guiding towards not so great EPS. And how much did they burn last quarter? 23 million. And they have like 190 million. So, I mean, they got 9 quarters worth. They're probably going to have to dilute more. I don't know. It would be, if I knew more about this company and their fundamentals and how good they are to position themselves, if the market returns, then I'd be more interested in this. But maybe, let me just do this. I'll draw a fib and give you an idea. If you wanted to play this as a long play for the market is getting better, then you could theoretically, I don't know if I should be drawing this at the wick or not. Let me see how things are lining up. That's just peak volume. Nah, it's not much different. We'll go with the wick. That's probably right. So again, this thing's under peak volumes right now. If it got closer to like $9, or if we just know that the economy is going to turn around a lot, it wouldn't take a ton for this thing to go back up. I mean, I got to say this though, the fundamentals suck right now and they're heavily indebted. So they would have to, it would take a little bit of effort, right? They would have to show some profit maybe in a quarter. They would have to show revenue increases. They'd have to show some hope. But this might be an okay play to the upside. Personally, do I care about it when Tesla's been down in the dumps for 3.5 years and I can buy the calls for a steal? No. Do I care about it when crypto and mainly Bitcoin is getting ready to take off into a 1+ year cycle? No, I just have a hard time. I struggle with caring about any of these other things, honestly, just because of the environment that we're in. I want to make sure I didn't miss Neil. Neil. No, you must have been lower. So, Redfin, got it. WGMI, got it. S. Let's do S real quick. Is this one that doesn't have Sentinel-1? Sentinel-1, okay. So Sentinel-1 has dropped 6%, went up 6% in after hours, so it appears to be recovering. Did they have earnings? They do have earnings coming up on the 13th. Don't know what's happening there. Money loser, I don't remember it totally off of my head, but let me just pull it up here. I'm probably going to start to remember some of these because I feel like I'm looking them up day after day. Revenue's going up. Net income is still red, losing 70 million a quarter. And have about 10, 11 months worth of runway, diluting shares. Operating expenses kind of flat. Cash flow not great. Growth was good, and they're forecasting to getting to where they're not going to be red for their EPS. So if they could make that stuff happen, then great. But this is always, I think I might have said this before, this has already had a pretty good run. It's already met that first fib. But if they do that, if they can get do something good for that next quarter, like what they're forecasting, you could see 37 on this one. I might, some of these common ones, I might start making a list and I might start sharing these in the top of my profile so that you guys can see how things are going. Because I share, if you don't know this already on X, I share a bunch of things I commonly track. I might like boost that up. I don't know how many characters I can pull up. I think a lot now. So I might boost that up and put a lot of these common ones in there too, so that you guys can just always, like, if I just click the share over here and then I've got a link and I can make it to where you guys can see this stuff. So maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe that's a good idea. ARM has been pumped by SoftBank. Oh yeah, that stuff. Yeah, and again, ARM could fall, but it's just it's a mixed bag of nuts fighting the chip narrative right now. I think it's too early to fight the chip narrative. Thanks for your explanation on Ionic. It's a quantum computing company. I'm 25 years old. For me, it's a long-term hodl. I won't buy any more. Microsoft, Amazon invest, Ionic as well. Okay, that's interesting. But you got to remember, these big companies, they do that. That doesn't mean these companies can't totally fail, because they're invested in all kinds of shit like that. And they're doing this as like venture capital type stuff, and they're okay with 90% failure rates. So that don't look at them as being invested in it as like a part of your thesis. You can't do that. You can sometimes, but like Rivian, Amazon has a huge stake in Rivian. Do they care? Probably not. Why? Because if Rivian fails, Amazon could just buy them and have a new business, or maybe they prevent them from failing, but they do a merger and acquisition. Like, you can't think that this is going to be okay because of Microsoft and whatever. Like that, if I can give you any advice, it would definitely be that. All right, EOC. I know people talk about this one. I don't know anything about this from a fundamental level, and their finances look like a fucking train wreck. I'll pull it up though, or at least they did. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, sometimes I am. Looks like my messages keep getting deleted by EOC. But EOC. Who's deleting your messages? Revenue and share dilution looks poor, but this battery producer may have some significant inflection based on an X post from Jeff Lutz. Jeff, huh? Well, I like Jeff. I don't know what he has to say about it. Maybe I'll take a look, because I do like Jeff and I respect him. He's a doer. He's somebody that's actually been in the manufacturing sector and knows how hard it can be. And I like those kind of people that are builders. Up 7%. Again, it's just been destroyed historically. Let's see. Do they have revenues now? Have things gotten better? I haven't looked at these guys in a while. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe things will get better. I think I saw their earnings call. I wasn't super impressed with it. But let's see. They had a revenue boost. What is this? 6.6 million. So very low revenue, but in a couple of quarters that just sucked. I know they're trying to ramp some facility. They've got high debt, which scares me a little bit for a company that's still just trying to build. Cash flow is still negative, but getting a little more positive. This trend line going down, I just don't love that, man. And operating expenses are flat. I'll look at what Jeff has to say. Oh, their forecast has gotten hella better. That's interesting. 18 million. What are these guys at, though, for their market cap? 208 million, 347 million enterprise for 18 million in revenues. I don't know. I just have to have a vision that these guys are going to do a lot better in the future. You know what I mean? Like, and I just don't know the company well enough, but I'll try and look at what Jeff has to say about it and see if I can educate myself more, and see what I find. All right, so let's see here. So let's go to the next one. From Neil. Okay, here's my whale. I found my whale. Sweet. Sorry it took so long, man. All right, let me get you in here, bro. Yeah, so do just what Neil did here. He said whale request, and then he put it in there. And if you do it with the $, it's easier for me to pick out. So I really appreciate that, because that's just like the symbol for a stock. Arista Networks. Whoa, Jesus. This thing's... Wow. These guys just hit all the time, huh? Interesting. Wow, this is stupid. Look at these quarters at the bottom. It's just green. Everything is green. Impressive. Just always getting it right. All right, I don't know what these guys. I need to see this. You got me interested, bro. Maybe this will be like a good buy and hold company, if nothing else, after I make, 10x over the next year and a half. I'm hoping my goals. I don't know if you guys know them, but I'm trying to make. I'm trying to get to $20 million in the next year and a half for my investment account. That's my goal. I'd settle for 10, but I think 20 is pretty doable. So if I get to 20, I'm probably going to start coasting a little bit on some things. But I still kind of want to teach and help too, so I'll still probably do the YouTube thing because that's like where I feel like I get my value in life. Revenue going up, but it looks like it's kind of getting a little toppy. But again, this is just a company just keeps hitting. Little more share dilution recently. Cash looks great, no debt. Operating expenses, R&D is kind of up there, but again, like that's not a bad problem to have. Cash flow is strong. Net income just continues to grow. 613 million net income, 87 billion, probably fair. 21% revenue growth year over year, but again, this is like a steady eddy. It looks like we're taking a little bit of hit to EPS. Maybe that's because of dilution or something. But I don't know. I don't know this company, but I love what they've done. Will they keep doing that going forward? I don't know. But these are hella gains, man. This has been a run going back to 2020. I mean, if you own this in 2020, brother, congrats. Yeah, 624%. That ain't bad for a stock. Again, the valuation. Let's see here. Do they have? Let me just double check real quick. PE 43. What business was this again? Probably software or something. Computer hardware. Interesting. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to think of what hardware it is. It like chip related stuff? Nobody's shorting this. I mean, they shouldn't, looking at that financial statement. How many employees? 4,000. Not a ton. I don't know. It's an interesting company. I'd definitely be interested to learn more about it. But again, 87 billion is pretty rich, and 43 PE for computer hardware. I don't know. It might be all right. Maybe it could go higher. But this is a lot. I'll draw a fib real quick here so we can see where we're at. Also, I know this takes a while when I'm initially being introduced to a company. This will get better over time, though, because I'll save these, and then I'll start to learn who they are. So, yeah, maybe we make a run to 1 at the 1 fib at 334. But once you get to that, man, your chance of going higher, I don't know. It gets kind of weird when you have these big gaps after the fib. So, I mean, this has had a really good run. Again, from April of 2020 or March of 2020 up to what was the peak in 2021. We had that retracement going into 2022, and then it's just been go. It's been go gadget ever since. So, unless you know this company is going to keep growing, might not be a bad idea to start, maybe trimming on that and looking for opportunities elsewhere. My 2 cents. Let's see. Roblox, is that the next one? PanW. Yeah, I can pull up PanW. The Nancy Pelosi stock. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Because she is a hell of a dip buyer. She's a great investor, man. She gets all that insider information. And if she doesn't get insider information, she just makes a law. All right. Just like everybody in Congress. Now, this was a dip. And people bought it. But, man, this is kind of coming back down. This didn't look bad, but it's up in after hours. So we're back above this fib in after hours. So we're right up here again in the 300 range. I would think we still try and go up to the .618. That's my vote. Because if I remember correctly, these guys had like some issues with their quarter, and I think just bad timing because everything was kind of getting smacked. But yeah, they had this net income get thrown off by one time. The operating expenses were high, massive share dilution. But I think their estimates are still, they're decent going forward. It's like back on track. So I think it's still going up. I think these guys just got screwed. All right, what's coming after that? PanW, FTAI, or let me see. Don't want to miss anybody. Roblox. Do I have that one? I feel like I had it at one point. No, I guess not. Let me go to that. But this is cool. And I haven't made the hedging video. I will do that. I should have already had that out Monday. I apologize. My daughter was sick. She's got allergies and she just had huge red eyes, so she stayed home today. So part of it was that, and then just all the craziness of the market. So I meant to do it and I didn't. So I will get on that. I feel like I'm the old days of talking to my boss and apologizing for not getting a project done in time. Didn't happen all the time, but Happened every once in a while. All right, so this thing has been grinding for a while. You can see how it hasn't really went anywhere. Um, I'm going to, you know what? I'll actually do a trend-based extension because this works. This is the full chart. Okay, so we are underneath peak volumes, and I don't remember. I need to look at the financials. Last I remember, the financials of this company just suck. My daughter loves it, or she at least she did. I don't know if she plays it as much as she used to. Um, and that's my worry, right? That a lot of people feel that way. Yeah, dude, stay the fuck away from this. Or sorry for my French, but it's great that you're growing revenue. You got to turn on the money printer. You can't burn $323 million a quarter and survive. I don't care what your revenue growth, not in this market, man. They need to figure this out. They need to start making money. If they can't figure out how to make money, they just need to close up shop and give it to somebody else, sell it to somebody. Because there's definitely like there's people that love it, there's kids that love it, but like look at this, like their operating expenses. I mean, they're not going up by a crazy amount, but their debt got a little bit better, but they're consistently diluting shares. But you just can't burn this level of money. And then stock-based comp is going up. Look at this. They look like they were headed in the right direction, and then 2022 happened, and now they're just burning more than they're making. It's just not a good place. Their forecast looks better for the next couple of months, but is their EPS or net income getting better? No. So what does it matter if you make money if it just causes you to lose more? I don't like Roblox. I want to. I want to like it. I don't like it. Do you ever buy pre-market or after hours? Never. There's not enough liquidity, and even like if you're small, if you're really small, maybe there is, but like if you want to do anything of size, it's just too dangerous. Any thoughts on? I already talked about that. Roblox talked about that. FTAI. That's a new one. I'll stop about it for now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha. I got you on your Ionic comments. All right, FTA, FT, yeah. Okay, aviation. Interesting. Whoa, Jesus, dude, this thing just like rides that weekly 200 moving average. That's sick. Is this what kind of company? We got dividends. Huh. Wow, from March of 2020 till now, cannot be angry about owning this stock, dude. What the F? That's close. Um, tested the .618. You can see, gosh, this thing like it tests the line and then it just rolls up. It tests the line and then it just rolls up. To me, it looks like this thing's rolling towards 80, and you get paid a dividend. I don't know. You'd think it would top out at some time. I need to see what is the market cap? 5.81 billion. What did this go up? Gosh, you guys got to tell me about these investments when they're down here. I'm kidding, but kind of not. What? 1,700%. Congrats if you own this shit in March of 2020. If you bought that dip, congrats, because that's sweet. All right, I got to see this one. I got to see the financials. They better look pretty. They better look pretty to warrant this. And what kind of aviation are we doing here, guys? Rental and leasing services. Is this like a private jet company or something? Massive institutional ownership, and retail doesn't even know it exists. 15% year over year revenue growth looks steady Eddie, except for like the pandemic getting shut down, right? Can't count that. Net income's going up 118 million in a quarter. That's a pretty good number. Debts are high. Don't love the debt load at all. Actually, do not love that at all. This is weird. Um, I don't know, man. A lot of money. We go to war, maybe aviation services. I don't know if these guys benefit or not, or if they get shut down. But If you made 1,700%, I would definitely be parsing off something for other opportunities. There's a lot of oversold stuff out there, man. ICP, is this Internet Control Protocol? Also making me think of a rap song from the 90s. You down with ICP? ICP. What a horrible name. All right. Somebody didn't think that ticker through. I'm gonna say, this isn't. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is crypto. Let me see. What did this thing trade on originally? Maybe I can get stuff off of Coinbase. Yeah, okay, I might be able to. There's history here. No, oh, not enough. Not enough. I need a better one. If you guys are giving me cryptos and they're like previous cycle stuff, can you give me what they originally like might have traded on? That's helpful. Just because sometimes, like I don't know what exchanges they were on. Yeah, so May of 20. Was that the birth of this? I don't feel like that was the birth of them, was it? Maybe it was. I guess they did just shit the bed right out of the gate, didn't they? I forgot that. This is a weird looking chart, guys. I do not like it at all. I feel like this is dead. I'm just going into this with the bias of I haven't heard this thing really do any. And I say this, I actually think I own some. So when I say this, I'm not trying to be a dick. But I don't like the fact that this wasn't really breaking out. And maybe it still will, but this crypto is one of the, I think, 93% that don't play well and don't beat Bitcoin after their first cycle. So I think you stand a better chance owning Bitcoin unless you know something about this protocol that is way better than what I know. This just looks like a train wreck from the get-go. And I know they're working on new stuff, yada yada, whatever. Everybody's working on new stuff. That's a part of the narrative, right? So I don't know. I don't love this at all. Honestly. Sorry. It could, if it goes up, like, again, I just don't even know what it can go up to. I almost just need to make up a line here or see if I can find a better one because this just isn't real, right? Like, let's call this where it started because, like, it just lost so much right out of the gate. So it really messes with your charts. Or maybe I can do something. Let me see. Where's March of 20? No, I don't even have that, do I? So either there's a better exchange that has more information. Maybe there is, because I feel like this was, I don't know. If there's a better exchange, great. Otherwise, this is so hard to draw off of with what I have. It's just not good. What tool do you use for reviewing stocks? That's visualstocks.com. Right up here with a Z instead of the S on visual. Also, I asked on your reel, will ETH effectively eat itself with ETF-like volumes when the time comes? No, it'll do great. You have to realize that ETH is getting ready in a week here. ETH is going to have EIP 4844 that lowers its fee structure by 10x. And then there's the Ethereum ETF narrative that's going to be heading in over the next 2-3 months where we're probably going to get approval on an Ethereum ETF, or at least that narrative will be strong. And so, and the ETF isn't going to hurt it. It's just going to give it more money. Look at what the Bitcoin ETF has done. It hasn't hurt it, has it? It's like, it went straight up. So no, I don't see that. I think it's going to be just fine. I see you looking ready for a rally. Thanks, sir. I understand. Quantum computer. Yeah, okay. I'll stop about it for now. Thanks. Thanks for checking it out. Roblox stays so relevant. I've been fascinated. Yeah, Roblox is, I mean, it people love the game and the fact that you let, I think it's the letting people create content thing, right? Like it's the YouTube formula. It's the way somebody like me gets to do stuff. Like it's a cool formula, but you gotta make money off of it. CWCO. So I'm down at the bottom. So if there's anybody still here and you want something, you should throw it out because I'm down at the bottom. Otherwise, I'm going to go eat after this. So you can either let me eat or you can give me another ticker. You decide. It's up to you. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's not a crypto. Consolidated water. Everybody needs water. Get a divvy. Get a dividend. Oh, these guys did pretty good through the pandemic. It looks like they didn't really get affected. Let me just draw something here. Trend base trend extension. Let me see. So I'm going to draw it from here to here because this seems to be the major move that we're kind of running off of. Again, I feel like we made our move. Once you start getting up above the 1 and you get into like outer space, can you go higher? Yes, you can. But $462 million stock. Let me see what their financials look like. Do they warrant this thing to go higher? Doge. I think I already did Doge, but I can show it to you again in a second. 100% revenue growth. Wow, this is actually pretty solid. Net income strong, not a lot of dilution, lots of cash. Operating expenses are flat. Very impressive growth. Is that going to continue? Nah, it's tabling off a little bit. So if I knew that this company was going to continue to grow and that, like, again, I love the operating leverage here. The revenue versus expenses is great. If I knew that they were lowballing this or that it was going to turn around again, I would be interested in holding this. But it has went up a lot, and maybe we're reaching the top. Oh, hey, thanks, Luke. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate the stickers, guys. It even drops a little thing, I think, into my jar. I haven't looked at that in a while, but I think it does. So this went up 323%. And again, we kind of exhausted all the fibs here. So I would say maybe this starts to go down. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. We give that a little heart. Oh, look. It's got my little heart there. I love that. All right, so let's pull up. I'll pull up Doge again real quick. And yeah, Doge got butchered. But that's why you don't chase this stuff ever. Don't chase anything, man. It's just not worth your time. But I said earlier, I do like the fact Solana. All right, well, you talked me into it for another $2 there. You talked me. I can wait a little bit on food. 1 second here. So I'm gonna look at this real quick, and then I'll look at the other notes. So yeah, you can see where it's trying to hold on to peak volumes here. So I do like that. But here's the thing: if Bitcoin dumps tomorrow, we could go to like 11 cents. Totally go to 11 cents. I will say this though: if it got to 11 cents, I'll probably be buying. I'll be buying because this thing was screaming. It was off to the races. This little dog was barking, and it just got screwed. Got up 144%, and then it got slammed down by market fundamentals and China and all these worries and banking, all this crap. Down 20% now, says on the day. So I'd be interested in this again. Kane, like it. It's a supply due to the volume spike from ETFs. Sorry, hard to put into words in chat. No, I totally get that. That's why I did a YouTube channel. It's hard to like write stuff on X and put it into anything that anybody can understand. All right, so LW Crypto. Can you look at a stock you're looking at and show us why it tickles your fancy? There are more we watch, the better. Yeah, I will. I'll probably do more of that. I'll do that in this upcoming video where I'm going to be doing my shorts first. I'm going to be going over like SAH, ANE, I think it is, WIN, GTB, IF, Five Below. I need to do more research in that one though to make sure that the visual stocks is representing it well. I'm going to do that kind of stuff and talk through those first, and then I've got some long ones I'm interested in too, and I'll talk to those in another video, and I'll get both of those out for sure this week. So I will do some of that. Solana. All right, yeah, let me put up Sol. Thank you for the $2 tip too. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. All right, Solana. 1 second here. Let me look at this. So Solana, God, it wanted to break out too, man. Ethereum was the same way. They were all ready to go. And then Bitcoin retracing, and then just the broader market seeming to have fears about like China and banking and just needing a breather, I think, too, caused it to retrace. So now we have this weird, like, we have like this downward divergence in the RSI and in the MACD. You can't see it too well, but I'm sure it's there. And then you have this upward price action. So maybe we could break down again, like it depends on what Bitcoin does. Maybe we break down and hang underneath this fib for a while, but it will go higher. You could see that it wants to. Solana wants to go higher. So if I mean, it's a lot cheaper today. $1.20 is cheaper than it was earlier in the week, so that might not be a bad deal. Check out AMP. Flexa uses their token to use as collateral to process payments. AMP, why do I feel like I know this? They built in the infra in El Salvador, 20 to 50x potential. I don't know about that, but I will take a look at it. I mean, a lot of shit coins have potential. I feel like I know this one. Let me just take a look. Thank you guys for the tips. I can tell you. All right, I'll stick around for a little bit longer. Is it no, this is a altcoin though, right? This AMP. Yeah, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see if Coinbase has enough time frame. Is this older than June of 2021? I feel like it is. I'm going to see. Do you know what exchange this used to be on? Like where I'd have all the data? Let me see if Binance has it. No. Or did this start in 2021? Oh, cool. Hey, thank you. I'll tell my wife that. She'll be happy about that. Thank you. All right, let me see if I can. If you're the one that brought up AMP, can you tell me? Let me see. Bitstamp. Bitstamp could be an old one. No. Is there an older exchange that like this was birthed on? KuCoin maybe. No. Okay. All right. I'll just stick with the regular. I'll just stick with Coinbase, and I'm just gonna do fib-based retracement because that's all I can really do, and then I'll look at some of the price action on it. So it's trying. It doesn't look dead, which is good. It doesn't look dead, which is good, but I don't know. It's just hard to know with some of these. I'll have to look this up since it's just a shit coin. It doesn't have like a lot of fundamentals you can work off of outside of some kind of price action and like activity and user count and that kind of stuff. So I'll see if I can find out more about this. But as you can see, this thing's just went straight down, right? If this is the full length of the chart, this has went straight down. And so it would be something for it to just get up to 2 cents. That would be a heck of a move. But you also have to keep in mind, if this was live during the last cycle, this is the second cycle. So you stand a 7% chance of outcompeting Bitcoin. So make sure that this team is real. Make sure that they're building something fundamental. Make sure that they're growing. Make sure that their socials are getting pumped. Because if they can't beat a frog and a dog coin, I mean, maybe you just stick with a frog and a dog coin, or even better, Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana. So I can take a look at this, but like make sure that this is something real and that it's not just going to be one of those 93% that don't outperform, because you don't want that. WGMI. To BTC. You want me to do a comparison? So I meant by support level, I meant WGMI miners. Oh yeah, no, I saw your post earlier. That was a good one too. I think again, it's all dependent upon Bitcoin. Without doing the comparison between the two, it's all dependent upon Bitcoin and how well Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin does well, the miners will go up. And I know you're looking at a comparison between the two, but if Bitcoin shits the bed, I think WGMI is going to go down too. I do know I did look at a chart, and maybe I should do more of that. I should actually probably look at that. I was looking at a chart where it showed WGMI, I think, lagging Bitcoin's price. Maybe that's what you're alluding to. Let me do this. I'll build a chart like you have where I do the comparison between the two, and then I'll also look at Bitcoin's price, and maybe I'll come up with that in the next one here just to see if there's anything interesting there that's kind of a signal where it lags the price action and it can be beneficial. Maybe that's what you're alluding to. I will do that. How do I like these? Okay. Oh, thank you, ABC. I am not sure if you're tipping or if you just wanted something else. Here, you know what though? I might just pull, since I got nothing else under here, I might just pull this up real quick. So let me see. I will do WGMI. And then I'll do a price comparison. Where's that in here? Comparison to BTC USD. using Coinbase. I'm not sure how you had this set up. What am I here? Is this my BTC? I'm not sure if you had this as like a formula or what. If you're dividing them, maybe that's what you're doing instead of doing a comparison like this. I'll check your post. I'll look at your post. Let's see. What is your user? I think you just posted about this today. I'll take a look at that. All right. Let me see. Anything else? Nothing else? Okay. I think I'm gonna call it, guys. I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna go eat. I'll try and come up with some charts here and, like I said, do a comparison. It is interesting. It is interesting, even just looking at this, though, Dan, how Bitcoin really started to outperform it. Again, it's like one of those things where maybe when this starts to get up to where Bitcoin's line is, then that's your sell. Because look at this over here in August 22. And then over here on July 23. Huh. All right, it'll be interesting to see what kind of signals this might give. Oh, okay, a ticker. Okay, cool. I'll pull that up too. But this is interesting, though. Even just looking at this, again, like, you could see where, like, the top of the miner was right here, where it started to hit Bitcoin's price as far as overall performance. That's just kind of some weird coinky-dink. But yeah, I'll look that up too. I'll do that real quick now. Let me just, oh, I didn't save a ticker on this. I'll do that later. Whatever. WGMI BTC USD. All right, I think I got it typed right. That, where is it? Where do you get this one, man? Do you have a URL for it? I don't know how you're looking it up, if you're doing it on here or something else. Oh, there we go. Maybe that is it. Let's see, did I get that right? BGMI CUSD. Is that not my formula? Oh, hello. Don't like that. All right, I'll play with this more. I'm not going to do it right now. All right. Yeah, thank you, bro. Chris, you stud. All right, guys, thank you for the tips. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the support of my channel. I greatly appreciate it. I'll try and serve you guys well. I'll get that short video out. I'll get my long videos out. And then we can do this again tomorrow in another market recap. Just enter it as W. I just did that. Oh, you just mean up here instead of the lookup? No, I just did that. I literally just did that. I just didn't take it. Oh, now I took it. Damn it. Is it? All right, well, whatever. My profile gets all weird on this. I'll look at it later. All right, guys, you take it easy. Thank you for your time. I will talk to you tomorrow.